Welcome to the Master Passive Income Podcast, where we talk about investing in real estate rental properties with a special focus on making enough money so you can quit your job and live the dream life. And now, here is your host, Dustin Heiner.
Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the Master Passive Income Show. My name is Dustin Heiner, and I'm here to help you learn how to quit your job by investing in real estate rental properties so you never, ever have to work a job again. Now, in today's show, we're going to be talking all about where to invest this year so that you can buy rental properties, make money every single month, and quit your job. Now, in reality, there are a few places that are not the greatest places to invest. And let's say like the coast, like you have San Francisco. It might be hard to rent a property there. It might be hard to buy the property and rent it out and make money. Like New York City, that might be really, really hard to buy a property and rent it out. But there are so many great places in this country that you can invest. In fact, I have students that are outside of the country. Like one is literally in Switzerland and he's buying in America. It's super fantastic that he's able to invest in America. There's a whole process to do that, but if you're an American citizen, it's so much easier and you can get started. I started investing in real estate when I was in California. In 2006, prices were skyrocketing, but I bought my first property in Ohio. In Ohio, I was able to buy properties for very, very inexpensive and rent them out for a good amount of money and make like $300 or $400 a month in passive income. And that's what we're talking about today, is how you can actually buy properties all over the country and find good places. But not just that, I'm going to actually tell you some really, really good states as well as cities that you should be investing in. Now, I also want to give you a free course to get started. If you go in the description, I have a link to my free course, my free real estate investing course. I want you to click on that link and get started, or text the word rental to 33777. Rental to 33777. That's that word, rental, RENTAL, to 33777. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can click on the link or go to masterpassiveincome.com/free course. Now, I want to share with you where are my students buying properties right now and where are good places. Well, in reality, it's the Midwest is a great area of the country to invest. If you get down into the Carolinas, down into Florida, kind of scoop around all the rich, expensive, wealthy people up in New York and like Virginia, Washington, D.C. and all that, the DMV, the D.C., Maryland, and Virginia, those are kind of expensive. But even there, like in Connecticut, there are some great places there. There are places all over that you can buy and rent out. But let's get into the great cities that you're going to be able to find. Let's start with the states. Let's start with big, broad states, but I just told you the area of the country. Area of the country is going to be the Midwest. The Midwest is fantastic. There are prices that are fairly low. You could buy properties for $50,000, $60,000. You can even buy some for like $20,000 or $10,000. That's right. You could, like, if you're living in San Francisco, your mind's probably just like blown because $50,000 for a house. Wow, you can't get a shack. You can't even get anything for $50,000. You can't even get a car. Like a Tesla's going to cost twice as much as that. So there are properties and places that you can buy properties for a good price and rent them out really, really well. So I'll give you the area, which was Midwest, down in the Southeast and the Carolinas and Florida. So I'll just talk to you about a few states that are really good to start looking for properties. Now, first one would be Carolinas. So let's start with North Carolina. North Carolina is really, really good. Now, there are some more expensive areas in North Carolina. You can find a lot of great areas where you're going to find homes that are like $40,000, $50,000, $60,000. And, get away from the coast a little bit, you're going to find some really good places to invest. South Carolina as well is going to be a really good place for you to invest your money and buy rental properties. Now, North Carolina is, in my experience, a little more expensive than South Carolina. And again, you get away from the coast, you're going to get better priced homes and lower priced homes, and you're still going to be able to rent them pretty well. Another great place is Florida. Now, Florida, obviously you got a lot of, retirees going there, but at the same time, there are a lot of places that are going to have really, really good properties. Now, Orlando might not be the best place because there's a lot of attractions. Prices are probably pretty high, but there's a lot of places. Florida is a big state. So look for good properties that are going to make you $250 or more every single month. Another great state you're going to find is Texas. Texas is gargantuan. I mean, it's huge. I mean, the people that are from Texas, if they say, "Oh, you're from America," like, no, I'm from Texas, because Texas is huge. But so I currently invest in Texas. I really love Texas, and I invest there. Now, Texas is really, really nice because there's a lot of land, but there's a lot of great properties that you can buy for a relatively low price. Now, there are some areas like Dallas, Fort Worth is going to be kind of pricey, so you might want to stay away from those. But then again, they could find some good properties. But they're going to find some really, really good properties like in all over Texas. So be on the lookout for properties that can make you $250 or more. Also, other great states, Tennessee. Tennessee is also another really good state that you can buy properties in and make passive income. Now, if you go to like Nashville, every single state is going to have big meccas or big centers that are going to be a lot of people living in, which makes the prices of those homes really high. So you might want to stay out of those, or at least, try to go around, like go into the suburbs or further out from those, in the little tiny towns. Go someplace else because people still got to live there. They're going to be living there. That's the biggest thing. People have to live somewhere. And so as long as people are there, you're going to find some good properties. Make sure you're making $250 or more. Another great state, I personally also invest in Ohio. I really, really like Ohio. I also invest in other states, but another one I invest in is Ohio. Ohio is a great, great state that you can invest in. And all over the state, there are some really, really great properties. Now, I will say there are some bad areas it's really harder to rent. It's harder to find tenants. It's harder to manage just because it's a really economically depressed areas. There are some areas like that. Actually, all over the Midwest, you're going to find some places that you might not want to invest in. I mean, you remember back in 2010 where they literally could not give away homes in Detroit because it was so bad. There were so many that were just dilapidated. Now, at the same time, there are some great places. So places that I would not invest personally, like Illinois. Sorry if you invest in Illinois. I personally wouldn't, just because the laws are really, really rough. California, I would not invest. Oregon, I absolutely would not invest. And the reason why is they have laws specifically forbidding you from kicking them out, like evicting them if they're not paying the rent. And you even have to pay for them to move, like pay for their expenses to move. It's just horrible. There are some states that are bad. Now, next up is I want to tell you some cities that would be actually great to invest in. I'm going to handpick a few that my students are buying some properties in there. Now, I'm going to caveat all this by saying you need to learn how to invest in real estate, because if you just go out and buy one rental property and say, hey, I'm going to buy this property, I'm going to find the first property manager, or I'm going to do my best to, make sure I find the right property manager, trust me, you're going to lose money, or you have a really good chance of losing money. You need to do it right. And to do it right, you got to build the business first. You got to find all the right people to do the work for you, and even find people that are going to find you properties, find you deals. I love working with wholesalers because they make me money because they find properties. And as I'm drinking my coffee, I look through my emails, look through all the different properties that they send me and say, okay, don't like this one, don't like this one. Oh, here's a good one. Let me go ahead and buy this one. So you want to build the business first. And remember, get that free course, masterpassiveincome.com/free course, or text the word rental to 33777. And also in the description, it'll be there. I'm going to show you how to analyze deals. I'm going to show you how to find deals. I'm going to show you how to find property managers, even the questions to ask the property managers and the answers to those questions so you know who to hire. I literally want to walk you all through that stuff, as well as show you how to scale the business to where you can actually quit your job and be done and be successfully unemployed. So on top of that, let's jump into which cities would be a good city to start investing in this year. So I personally think Memphis, Tennessee is a great place to invest. Memphis is really good. Well, here's the thing. I'm telling you, don't invest there unless you know what you're doing. So everybody listening, if you're going to do this, you need to learn. Go to my site, learn everything there, listen to the podcast, learn everything there. But Memphis, Tennessee is a great place to invest. There are some good areas, some bad areas, so you need to make sure that you do it right. Another one would be Cincinnati, Ohio. Ohio is a really good state, and so Cincinnati in there is also really good. There's some bad pockets, there are some good pockets. That's also a good city that you can invest in. Now, I'm not going to get into the details. If you want to get more into the details, go to my show notes page, and it'll be in the description. My show notes page will actually have much more detailed description of each one of these states, each one of these cities. Even I have, like if you go to Zillow, see all that sort of stuff, like criterias and stuff. I have all that inside there as well on the show notes page. So definitely go and check that out. Everything's going to be written out much more. Now, another one that I would suggest is Houston, Texas. Houston, Texas is really good. You're going to find some really good, relatively inexpensive properties that you could rent for more. Now, here's a big caveat, big pro tip I'm going to give you. If you are going to invest in Texas, in Houston, Texas, realize that there are two types of property taxes. One, there's the county tax that you're going to pay, which I knew of when I bought my first property. I was like, okay, I know the county tax. There's also a stupid city tax that pays for basically schools and whatever else. And so here's the lesson learned. I had the county tax at $1,300 a year. I'm like, oh, that's not bad. Hey, I'm going to be making some good passive income. I was going to make like $450 on these properties. What was sad was after a while, I realized, oh no, this is after I bought the property. Oh no, there's a city tax, and the city tax is like $2,300. It's almost double how much it is for the county tax. And usually it's only county tax, and so that's why I'm like so thrown off by this. But that is like what, $3,500 a year in taxes. You need to make sure you account for that. If you're going to invest in Houston, again, this is all about building the business first. You need to know all this stuff. I did everything the wrong way, and I'm showing you the right ways to do it. So I want to show you how to do that. Now, another one would be Charlotte, North Carolina. Charlotte, North Carolina is a pretty good city to invest in. There's a lot of great properties, a lot of great things out there that you can find. And so you're going to find properties $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, but make sure you find the right ones and buy the right ones. You don't want to buy dumps that you're going to have to put loads and loads of money into. You want to buy ones that are going to make you money every single month. Last one I'm going to give you is Gainesville, Florida. Gainesville, Florida. And again, if you go to the show notes page, you're going to see I have a image that's going to show you all the different properties that are out there. There's so many, like it's literally littered. Actually, every single one of these cities that I'm talking about, there are so many properties inside of a criteria. I think it's a range of like $30,000 at the low and like $100,000 at the high. I even had to get rid of the higher ones, but there were so many in just this price range that it was just like littered of red dots. Like if you go to Zillow, you're going to see this. So go to my show notes page. You're going to see all this stuff. I'm going to explain it all out there. But Gainesville, Florida is another great city that you can invest in and make good money and passive income. So as you're going through this entire process of looking for new areas of the country to invest in, you need to be remembering that building the business first is the number one thing. A lot of my students, people that go through the Ultimate Real Estate Investing System, my coaching students, what we do is we start looking for properties, but the sad thing is we're probably not going to buy any one of those properties while we're doing our research. This is basically market research because we need to know what a good property is before we actually buy the property. You know, if you buy a car, you're not going to just go out and say, oh, I'm just going to go buy a car, go to the lot, or at least I don't think this is a wise idea. I would not do this, or I don't do this. I would not go to a dealer and just say, I like that car, I'm going to buy that, without having any knowledge of what cars are out there, what cars cost, what this one particular model is good or bad at, or what is a good deal on this car. I would not do that. I don't suggest anybody do that. I suggest doing research, looking on Craigslist for the type of car you want, seeing what is a good deal, then looking on all those other websites that show what types of cars are out there and see what is a good deal. And so I'll give you an example. So I drove my 2007 Honda Odyssey. And so if you go back, I can't remember which show it was, but there was one where I talked about how I was driving my 2007 Honda Odyssey for like 10 years. And eventually it broke down. I was so disappointed because I would continue. I'm very frugal. Even though I have plenty of money, I would have just kept driving that car until it broke. But it actually did break, and I had to sell it or get rid of it. And what I did was I was looking for maybe about 6 months to a year for a new car because I knew eventually it might happen. So I knew what type of car I would want, number one, and what a good price would be, number two. And so what I found was as I was looking, it so happened that my car was literally breaking down. It's like, okay, I have to buy it. Praise the Lord, I found this deal. So I was looking for Expeditions. I really liked Expeditions. I thought they were going to be good cars. And we've had an ours now for over a year now, and it's going great. But what was great was because I was looking for 6 months or a year at prices, what good prices, what a good mileage should be on a certain year, what good years are good, bad years. Basically market research over the entire thing. It came out that our car literally died on us and we were stranded. Anyways, long story short, it was time for me to then buy a car. Then I looked on a website, can't remember which one it was, and I saw this Ford Expedition. It was a 2017. It was 2018 when I was buying it. It was a 2017, so a year old, for $21,000. My jaw almost hit the ground. These were selling for like $40,000. I said, oh, no way, this can't be real. Like, this can't be real. It has to be something wrong with it. But after doing the Carfax, after researching it, going to it was actually at a dealer. It wasn't, some shady guy on Craigslist selling a car that was stolen or one that's actually totaled. It wasn't anything like that. Went to the dealer. Carfax was great. Everything, it was just a fleet vehicle. Basically, it was a rental car. But they did everything. They fixed it up. They made it look and works fantastic now. But I bought it for like at least $10,000 less than what I could, my best deal anywhere else. And so because I was looking at the market, because I was looking at every other car out there, I knew what a good deal was. So as soon as I saw that good deal, I called them up right away. I said, hey, is that car available? He says, no, it hasn't got off the truck yet. We knew it was coming, so we put it on the website. And so it hasn't got off the truck yet, the big truck that they drive. They haven't got off the truck yet, but you can come down and take a look at it. It'll be down in maybe like about an hour. I said, I'm there. And I drove an hour to get there. It's in Tempe. I'm in Peoria. It's about an hour to get there. I drive there, and it just gets off the thing. I'm talking to the first guy, and there was like 3 other people right behind me, and I had him having the keys. So I jumped on that deal. Same thing with your rental property business. You need to know what a good property is so that when one comes up, you're like, I'm jumping on that. I've had students that have waited. I would say, this is a really good deal. I would personally buy it because it's a really good deal. And they might wait longer, like wait 3 or 4 days, or wait a week or longer, because they're concerned. They're thinking, now I'm not saying it's bad that they should wait and do their due diligence, but they waited too long and it got snapped up. Somebody else bought it because it was such a great deal. That's where you need to be. If all these cities and all these states, you need to be figuring out where you're going to invest. Look at what the market shows on the different properties and what a good deal is, so that when it's time to buy and you see a good deal, you're like, I am all in, I'm buying it, I'm ready. So get your money ready, get your financing ready, know the business, make sure the business is set up, and then buy that property, that good deal that pops up. Now remember, go out there and get my free course, masterpassiveincome.com/free course, or text the word rental to 33777. But you guys are fantastic. I really want you to get started. I am so blessed to be able to do this. Basically just talk to you about real estate because it's fun. I love doing it, and I don't have to work that JOB. You guys know what JOB stands for? Just over broke. It's absolutely ridiculous to be just over broke. You don't have to do that anymore. I want you to change your life by investing in real estate rental properties. All right, you guys are fantastic. Thank you so much for being here with me on the Master Passive Income Show. You take care of yourselves. I'll see you next week.